Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still, Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses Pacquiao had? Oh, that's another thing, bro. Pacquiao another one that don't give a losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him.
Every time to knock him out. If you ever heard him, finish him. But meanwhile, just sit back and box and do your thing.
Financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with.
The boxing world remains divided over Manny Pacquiao's return at 46. Floyd Mayweather believes the comeback is a bad move and could hurt Pacquiao's legacy. Concerns continue to grow about his health, his reasons for fighting again, and whether money is playing a bigger role than competition. Meanwhile, Romero said it's unfortunate that Pacquiao is still fighting at this age. He believes a fight with Barrios wouldn't change Pacquiao's legacy because he's already considered a boxing legend. According to Romero, Pacquiao's reputation is secure regardless of the result. He also said he'd be willing to fight Pacquiao himself in the future.
Fighters actually fought.
Rolly Pacquiao.
Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still, Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses Pacquiao had? Oh, that's another thing, bro. Pacquiao another one that don't give about losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him, right? Bro, all that undefeated, that don't mean shit if you're not fighting nobody. Nobody gives a about you.
Roy Jones Jr. praised Manny Pacquiao's incredible career, saying he has already achieved everything a boxer could hope for. He noted that Pacquiao's accomplishments have secured his place in boxing history with nothing left to prove. While maintaining great respect for the Filipino icon, Jones questioned the need for a return to the ring and expressed uncertainty about a comeback at this stage of his career.
Fighter of the decade 1990s, passing on the torch to Manny Pacquiao, fighter of the 2000s.
Right?
Any advice tonight for him?
Just be smart. Don't get overly aggressive. Try to be smart with your aggression. Take your shots when you can, but don't go out there to just strictly knock him out. Just outbox him like you did last time. And when you get chances, take chances and try to knock him out. If you ever hurt him, finish him. But meanwhile, just sit back and box and do your thing. You have nothing to prove to him.
Any advice for any children and youth on the benefits of sports, not smoking in general? What would you say to them?
No smoking, no drinking, party lightly. Always keep your own mind. That's how I got to where I am now. I always keep my own mind. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs. Stay in your own mind. In your own mind, then you can make your own choices and decisions the proper way. Give yourself the best chance.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Tim Bradley expressed doubts about Manny Pacquiao's comeback, suggesting that financial reasons may be driving the decision more than a desire to compete. He said that when fighters return from retirement, many people often assume money is a major factor. Bradley also noted that Mario Barrios is younger and in his prime, giving him a significant advantage. Because of that, he believes the matchup could be risky for Pacquiao and potentially lead to a tough ending to his legendary career.
Getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I actually think he can beat
Ryan Campbell shared his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's return, pointing out how rare it is for a 46-year-old fighter to challenge a younger champion like Mario Barrios. He mentioned George Foreman's remarkable comeback as proof that age alone doesn't always determine success in boxing. Campbell explained that the sport has occasionally seen veteran fighters recapture flashes of their best form for one special night. While he understands the concerns surrounding Pacquiao's comeback, he believes boxing's unpredictable nature means surprises can never be ruled out.
Only 8-division world champion. He'll be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame next month. And then in July, BC is going to come out of retirement. Why now?
By the way, between those two dates, I believe he has an election coming up for a Senate position in the Philippines. So we always know that Manny is a busy man. He gets after it. He also dares to be great. And this is wild news. Look, in the boxing underground rumor mill, this had been floating around for a couple months. We just didn't know if it was going to be for real. Was Manny really going to commit to not just coming back after 4 years away, after just one fight in the last 6 years, at age 46, but to come back directly into a title fight against a young, in his prime, active champion, Mario Barrios? It's interesting theater, to say the least. It's a pay-per-view main event, reportedly for July 19th. And we know Manny Pacquiao has always brought big business, but now he's going to bring it in more of the late career George Foreman type of way to etch himself into that record book even further. Can Manny do it? I mean, look, the odds are certainly against him. But there's one thing about certain legends in this game. Think Bernard Hopkins, who fought into a very late age. Some of them, as long as they can physically get themselves into that ring, sometimes they can reproduce magic for one night. So it's a romantic situation. I got cats walking around.
Yep.
People are excited to see the Pac-Man back. You just got to kind of figure out, is this for real? Is he going to be for real? Or are we going to send him into a physical?
Campbell also evaluated Manny Pacquiao's current condition, especially the skills he still brings to the ring. He said that despite being far removed from his prime, Pacquiao continues to show impressive hand speed that compares favorably with many active professionals. Although the explosive athleticism of his younger years isn't as consistent, his timing and movement still stand out among several fighters in the welterweight division. Recent training footage has added to the conversation, with clips showing Pacquiao working the mitts and moving sharply around the gym. In those moments, the former 8-division champion looked focused and quick, firing fast combinations and displaying flashes of the movement that made him so dangerous in his prime, despite having been away from competition for 4 years.
And fought in 4 years. What makes you think he's got a chance against the much younger, the 29-year-old Mario Barrios?
Look, I'm not saying the odds will be high that he's going to come back and pull this upset or even be ultra competitive. But again, it's sort of like Manny's already superhuman. Turning pro at like age 15 or 16 at 106 pounds and winning titles in 8 divisions. And oh, by the way, 2 fights ago for Manny in 2019, he came out of retirement and beat an unbeaten Keith Thurman for the welterweight title at the age of 40. There's very few greats that you can call all-time greats, and I think sometimes even above that category, there's that upper room. Is Manny Pacquiao one of those in boxing history? Sure. But let's look at a couple things. The last thing to go is power, yes. Manny was also absurdly fast in his prime. So like a Roy Jones Jr. who hung on far too long, but was still fighting professionally at the age of 50, he still got speed that kind of compares to the average or above average speed that's out there today.
Frank Warren and Simon Jordan have both voiced concerns about Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring. They questioned the wisdom of allowing a veteran in his mid-40s to compete in a major title fight. Warren described the comeback as unnecessary, pointing out that Pacquiao has already secured his place among boxing's greatest fighters. Jordan echoed that opinion, saying there is nothing left for Pacquiao to prove and arguing that risking his health and legacy for another bout appears more like exploiting his reputation than celebrating his achievements.
Frank can speak to it far more eloquently than I can. I think it's a disgraceful decision. I think it's an appalling decision. I mean, the WBC make lots of appalling decisions, and I'm not a big fan of them. But the fact of the matter is Pacquiao is a legend of the sport. I don't know why they want to do it, whether it's the fees that they get as a result of it or whether it's the publicity. Boxing is in a brilliant position right now because of the Frank Warrens in the world and the relationships that he's developed over the last couple of years with the Saudis. That's opened the door for everybody else. We're getting brilliant fights. We don't need to rehash somebody that's 46 years of age that didn't look great in his last fight, stick him in against a world champion who isn't a great world champion, but that's not the point. The optics of this, the reality of this, there's no necessity.
They also questioned the reasons behind the fight being approved, suggesting that financial interests may be outweighing concerns for Pacquiao's well-being. In their opinion, a fighter of his stature should be allowed to enjoy retirement rather than return for a dangerous bout against a younger and more active opponent. Both argued that this is not the way a boxing legend should be treated and warned that the decision could ultimately lead to regret rather than add anything meaningful to his legacy. They further criticized the approval process, hinting that the circumstances surrounding the matchup may not be entirely justified.
Legacy for it, besides the WBC doing it for, I think, illegitimate reasons.
Why? I mean, Frank, you know the sport inside out. It seems to me, why does boxing always seem to allow for these kind of stories to manifest themselves?
Well, it's not boxing doing it, it's the governing body. I mean, it's their title and they decide who can fight for their title, so that rests with the governing body. I mean, for me, George Foreman came back, but he came back at an old age and won the title at 50 years. He was 50 years of age when he fought. You know, you look at
but he didn't go straight into a world title fight though, did he, Frank? He built up.
That's the point I was going to make. You know, you come in and you test the water. Go straight in for a world title fight is I don't see. I just don't go with that, and I don't understand that.
Yeah.
And you know, and there are older guys who've managed over the years, although they've been active. For example, Bernard Hopkins, who's a great fighter, who fought well.
Some figures in boxing have been even more critical, arguing that the situation could damage the sport's image. They have compared it to exhibition-style events like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, but noted that those contests were promoted primarily as entertainment. According to these critics, this case is far more serious because an official world title is at stake, raising both the pressure and the risks involved. They believe approving a matchup like this creates concerns about the sport standards and may affect the credibility of professional boxing as a whole.
Mario Barrios to defend his belt against Manny Pacquiao. And about 7 to 8, maybe 9, 10 years ago, I would have said, hell's yeah, if we had a Manny Pacquiao championship fight. But Manny's been retired for 4 years. He's 46 years old. 2021, and he lost to Ugas in a unanimous decision. I watched it out against the kickboxer guy in Japan. That didn't look good. This is a bad idea. A really bad idea. And again, I think people will look at this and go, well, Jake Paul, and yeah, that happened. And I also said that Mike was going to get really bad. It was a terrible idea for him to do that. And there were some health issues and everything else. Luckily, Mike didn't get super hurt in the fight, but this is a world championship level fight against a sitting world champion, and Manny does not belong in there. And again, I'm worried that he's going to get hurt badly for the same reasons. What do I mean? The breakdown. Let's go. Let's just start here. Manny Pacquiao, again, I just went over 46 years old, been retired 4 years, lost his last fight. Before that, but that was 2019. So it's been a while. And this is not me discounting who I think is one of the greatest boxers ever and has an argument to be the greatest ever, because what did he won world championships in how many different divisions? 8, 9, something crazy like that. There'll never be anybody like Manny Pacquiao. But let's just look at it and throw away your bias or throw away your fandom of Manny Pacquiao, because of course there's going to be a ton of people that watch this, and fair play, right, to those people that want to watch this. They want to see their guy go out and try to give it his all one more time. And Mario Barrios didn't look super spectacular.
Not everyone has criticized the comeback. Some observers believe Manny Pacquiao can still deliver a competitive performance, pointing to his vast experience and natural boxing instincts as strengths that remain valuable. Others, however, are more skeptical, remembering his last fight 5 years ago, where he did not appear as dominant as in his prime. The split in opinions reflects the uncertainty surrounding the matchup and leaves many questioning what this fight could ultimately mean for Pacquiao's career.
Manny Pacquiao against Mario Barrios fight is signed, done for July of 2025. Pacquiao is 46 years old. We haven't seen him in the ring in years. Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine.
If Pacquiao wants to come back as a Hall of Famer and fight one more time, whatever. He didn't look good against Yordenis Ugas, and that was 5 years ago. We've seen him in these exhibitions looking fleshy, to say the least. It's meaningless because if Barrios wins, he's never going to fight a Boots Ennis. If Pacquiao wins, he's not going to fight anybody ever again. So I'm kind of indifferent to the whole.
He emphasized Manny Pacquiao's lasting dedication to the sport, explaining that the Filipino legend hopes to retire once more, preferably as a world champion. Although he acknowledged the risks that come with the challenge, Sulaiman believes the fight represents a unique moment in boxing history involving a truly exceptional athlete. WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman also confirmed that Mario Barrios is scheduled to meet Pacquiao in July.
BC President Mauricio Sulaiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight.
Trainer Greg Hackett gave a harsh evaluation of the matchup, stating that if Mario Barrios had faced Manny Pacquiao several years ago, the result would likely have been one-sided in Pacquiao's favor. However, he believes the current version of the boxing legend is far removed from the fighter who once dominated the sport. According to Hackett, Pacquiao no longer possesses the same speed, durability, or hunger that defined his peak years. He ultimately described the event as more of a business-driven attraction than a genuine championship-level showdown between elite competitors, arguing that the legendary Pacquiao of the past is no longer the same fighter today.
I mean, but Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might try and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, it's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans want to criticize you for. Yeah. But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a diehard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money, and you want to do great.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback surprised much of the boxing community. Since retiring in 2021 and spending years away from active competition, few expected him to return for such a major fight. The news immediately divided opinion, with some fans excited by the challenge and others concerned about the risks involved. Even with the WBC approving the bout, questions remain about whether the outcome will strengthen or impact Pacquiao's legacy. Meanwhile, Mario Barrios and his team are treating the fight with complete respect. Despite Pacquiao being far removed from his prime, Barrios' trainer said they are preparing as though they are facing the version that once dominated world-class opponents. They refuse to overlook his experience, ring IQ, and physical condition, believing that his legendary status does not eliminate the threat he can still pose inside the ring.
Presented us, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-up, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division, and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Batirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots Ennis. That'll be up to them. But I do know one thing about Mario Barrios.
And that's all for today's update. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check back for our next video.